It is considered one of, if not the greatest song of the last 100 years. Somewhere Over the Rainbow has been an icon since it was first released in 1939. And since that original version from The Wizard of Oz by the great Judy Garland, there have been countless recordings in so many different styles. Today, I want to take a look at the building blocks of this song so that we can see what exactly makes it so incredible. Strap on your music learning caps and let's dive in. I will never say that again. So stupid. It is November, and that means we are getting ready for another massive Black Friday event. If you want to know the details of the absolutely insane deal we're going to be running this year, and if you want to get some free lessons and sneak peeks from the bundle, click the link in the description or scan the QR code and go check it out.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
Wow. Okay, so the one thing that I love about this original 1939 recording is how simple it is. And you'll see as we dive into some of the different things that people have done with this song over the years that it doesn't always stay that simple, and it also gives us a palette to work from that can let us go in a bunch of different directions, which I think is one of the things that makes it great. But this original version from 1939 is just dead simple. Let's take a look. That first chorus is incredibly simple. We simply play in the home key of A flat major, where this was originally recorded by Judy Garland, and we just have the 1 chord and then the minor 3 chord. Now, this is going to come in really handy as to why I think there's just such an emotional impact with this song, right? It has to do with the melody and the way it works with the chords. We'll get there in a second. And then we move on to the 4 chord. And in this version, it just resolves. 4, 1. Then we go back to 4. But then we get our minor 4 chord. You guys know how much I love the minor 4 chord. It's just so beautiful. Back to the 1. And we do get this beautiful 6 chord here in the key of A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's a dominant chord, right? We turn it into a dominant chord, we give it a flat 9, and the melody happens to be the flat 13 of the chord. So this is a crunchy chord for how simple the rest of the harmony is, but it really stands out, and it's a beautiful transition to the next chord, which is B flat dominant to the 5 chord, E flat 7, and then our 1 chord. And that's it. It's very, very simple. Now, the melody, the way it works with the harmony, this is one of the things that I think is iconic about Over the Rainbow, right? We have this octave jump as the first thing we hear. That is not a very common way to write a melody. It is a real drastic jump for any performer to accomplish, right? And so it can be kind of difficult to jump right up there and do it in a controlled manner that's like still very, I mean, listen to how Judy Garland does this. Oh, okay, wait. There's a couple things about this next part. So I made a video a while back, and I think, what was the name of it? It was like, you can't hear these 2 notes without crying. The point I was making in that video was that there is something that I kind of think of as the heartbreak interval, and it is a descending minor second. It just means dropping a note by a half step. There are so many instances in music where you can hear the melody go down by a half step and it just rips your heart out. It's just a very powerful movement. And one of the reasons I think it might be so emotionally powerful is because it mimics a human crying. This is a perfect example of that heartbreak interval. We get that iconic octave jump and then we drop it by a half step. Now, when we drop it by a half step, we move our harmony from the 1 chord up to the minor 3 chord. And the combination of those 2 things, the melody going down by a half step and the harmony coming up to the minor 3rd, I just think that when we're hit with that as the very first thing we hear, immediately we're just like, oh, It's so powerful. It's so emotional. However that is, maybe it's sad for you, maybe it's bittersweet. Whatever it is, it hits you like a truck. That sudden octave and then the little cry coming down. And listen to how Judy Garland phrases this. When she hits that note, that G, she falls off of it a little bit. And the taste here is just astounding. It's so good. We've established that we have relatively simple harmony. There's a couple cool things thrown in there, but the power of that octave jump, I mean, that is something that, like, you just don't hear very much. And I was trying to think, I was like, where else have I heard, like, where else do you hear something like that? And it's a similar chord change too. It actually does not go to the minor third, it goes to the minor sixth, but it kind of has a similar power to it. That's just so cool. Second A. 4 chord. Back to the minor 3 chord. 4 again. 4 minor. 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this bridge. This is an absolute icon, and I think it's one of the most unique bridges we've ever heard in a tune like this. And it just has this like quality to it where everything kind of stops, and we're now just floating, waiting for something to develop. Check this out.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Troubles.
Yeah, so that's something about that. Ooh. Okay, wait. We'll get to that. Here we go.
Smelled like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me.
Wow. Okay. So let's talk about the harmony of the bridge. It's really very simple. 1 chord, and then you could kind of look at this as a 2-5. Back to the 1, 2, 5, 1. And then here, what do they do in the original here?
Above the chimney top.
Oh. So this is, all right, this is cool because we're kind of using this diminished sound, which, what is this? It could be F diminished, A flat diminished, B diminished, or D diminished. They're all exactly the same note. So when we use this diminished shape, it's like, what could it be, right? Well, I heard in there,
like lemon drops away above the chimney tops.
I heard that in there, which releases to the 5 chord. Check this out. So 1 chord, and then we have this diminished shape, and we go right to the 5 chord. But before we don't just sit on the 5 chord, we move around a little bit. Listen to this.
That's where you'll find.
Right there, that chord. It's like an E flat sus chord that we use to kind of create, okay, because we were on the 5, but now we gotta get off of it a little bit and then hit it again. Back to the A flat to C minor, D flat, C minor, back to D flat minor, A flat major, F dominant, B flat dominant, E flat dominant to A flat. Okay, so we have a very standard AABA form here. This is a classic 32 bar jazz standard chord progression, right? Now, we've talked about how the melody that iconic octave jump, and then the half-step heartbreak interval to really make you feel that right in the very beginning. And then the way we're using the 1 chord to the minor 3 chord. Very basic chords, but here's the thing. Because of how it's written, I mean, you can just go so many different places with this. There's a fantastic version from 1984 by the great jazz pianist Keith Jarrett from the Tokyo concert. And in it, he plays this piece in just this incredibly ethereal way, and he makes some very subtle changes that don't mess with the song. They simply use the harmonic basis that we've created with this chord progression that we get in the original, and he just filled in maybe some of the gaps just a little bit, and boy does it sound incredible. Right off the bat, he's added 1 chord that makes a huge difference. He's playing it now in F, right? And if we compare to the original changes, very simple, right? F, A minor, B flat, A minor. That's kind of it, right? What Keith does here is he goes... Check that out, D minor 7. All he's doing is just adding the minor 6 chord, right? Before going to A minor 7. That chord right there. Oh! Okay. We get a little 2-5, very subtle, but there's a 2-5 in there because we're going to B flat major. So check this out. We've gone from three chords. F, B flat, A minor, right? We've gone from that to this. We're not doing crazy things here. We're just making subtle changes. But the way that the melody was written by Harold Arlen in 1939 gives us so much room to make tiny little tweaks that just can blow your mind with... And sometimes, you know, it's the things that don't sound like... Are these jazz chords? Like, yes, they're jazz chords, but it's not like we're doing some crazy reharm. You know, we're not fundamentally changing the direction of the tune. We're not making it sound like it's in some different key center. It's not like I'm going like, how would I even do it? Like, I'm not doing anything like that. Ooh, where we normally get the minor chord. What if you just took this exact shape, but instead of B flat, you put E flat? Now it becomes an E flat dominant chord. It's the exact same sound. It's the same sound as B flat minor. We just changed the root. Subtle, very subtle changes. All right, hold on, wait. All right, that's a little bit of a jazz chord, right? But like, it just touches for a second and then goes to that E flat dominant again. Wow, yeah. Wow, yeah. I mean, this whole version is absolutely insane. If you've never checked out Keith Jarrett's version of Over the Rainbow, you have to check it out. And it wouldn't be right to cover this song without talking about, of course, the version that is perhaps maybe the most popular. The one I'm sure many of you know. It's from the 1993 album Facing Future by the great Israel Kamakawiwo'ole. Let's take note here, first of all. We're literally using a 4-chord pop progression here, but listen to the way that he uses it. Right there, he uses that chord that we talked about in the original that I think is so emotionally powerful. It's going from the 1 chord that's major to the minor 3 chord. Of course, with the ukulele, it's voiced a little bit differently, but Listen. 1. Up to the 4. These are the original chord changes. And then E dominant, A minor, F major. Wow. I mean, you would think, just based on listening to it, that like, oh, well, he has kind of just utilized his own version. But we just showed, I mean, the chords that he's playing right there, they're the original chords. One, 3, 4, 1. Back to the 4. Now the only thing that he does differently here is he adds this beautiful different section. A 5-1 setup to A minor. E dominant to A minor. And then a plagal cadence with a F back to start our melody. And it's just unbelievable. Okay, yeah, wow. I mean, this version, I'm sure you guys know it. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. And it is another example, maybe going in the different direction, right? Keith Jarrett kind of took what was there with the original harmony and added a little bit to it to make it even something greater. And Israel kamakawiwo'ole does the exact same thing, just taking a couple of changes out, letting the simplicity of the melody and the way it works with just basic chords that work really great on the ukulele. I mean, it's amazing. And because of the way that the song was originally written, you can kind of get that in so many different ways. It's not difficult to see why this is one of the most incredible songs ever written, why it's widely considered to be perhaps the greatest song of the last 100 years. If you want some free lessons and sneak peeks from the course bundle that we're gonna be doing on Black Friday, then be sure to use the link in the description and go check out the details. There's some pretty cool surprises happening as well. I just wanted to break this down so that we could go through it and learn a thing or two about harmony and how it works so incredibly well in this song. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next one.